Hello and welcome to Hero Wars Info. My name is Ryan. We are going to be starting a deep dive series on every single hero in Hero Wars. Today, I'm going to be starting with Ishmael, since Ishmael has started to reappear as one of the new meta heroes. So we're going to be talking about their skills, skins, everything that you should be upgrading. Going to look at a couple battles, kind of give a strengths, weaknesses analysis, who are good counters to him, who he's really good against, and an overall grade. So let's just go ahead and jump in. So Ishmael has 4 different skills, as do all heroes. The first is his ultimate ability called Awakening. So this one assumes a demonic form that increases the critical hit chance by 1300 at his max level, and attack speed by 200%, and Ishmael starts to gradually lose energy. When it reaches 0, the demonic form dissipates. So the critical hit chance increase is 1300. That's based off of your leveling here. So a lower level of this skill will provide a lower critical hit chance. Now there's also an ascension skill attached. You can tell by, you see like these little wings right here. And that's the brutal awakening. So instead of doing times 2 damage with critical hits, he actually does times 4. That's a pretty big game changer. That's one of his main skills that makes him from deadly to incredibly deadly. After that, we have his Phantom ability. The Phantom allows him to dodge physical attacks for 6 seconds, gaining bonus energy for each dodge. But really, again, where it comes into play and makes it really good is the Elusive Phantom, where if he has that activated, which again is an Ascension skill, he's allowed to dodge both physical and magic attacks. So this will make him be able to dodge a lot, which increases his ability to gain energy that you're able to utilize, which powers him further up to keep on ulting. So the next skill is Darkcraft. It just allows him increases vampirism by 75%. So you'll notice that a lot of times Ishmael can heal without any healers. That's because every amount of damage that he does, he's getting some of that back. This is a really good skill. This is why he's used a lot in various forms of Area of Conquest, because once he ults, he's very hard to kill because he's recovering health at such a massive rate. Then lastly, Stormblades. Every 3rd hit stuns the opponent for 1 second. That can also be useful just to knock a tank or something out of the battle for a quick second, and he can take advantage and potentially kill them. Now for skins. Ishmael does have a lot of skins, including a Shredder skin, which is just a skin that affects only the appearance of the hero, no additional boosts. But he has 2 physical attack skins in the Champion skin and the Spring skin. He has an armor penetration skin, Solar, a health skin, a crit chance skin, and a default agility skin. What skin is the most important? Well, that's going to be armor penetration. That's the number one thing I would be upgrading if I'm looking into skins for Ishmael. Armor penetration, for the most part, any penetration, whether it's armor or magic for any hero, are going to be the most important. That still holds true for him. Then after that, I personally choose the physical attack because I want him to be as strong as possible. But I think there can be a case be made for the health, because a lot of times if you have Ishmael, he's going to be a tank hero or second in line. And so there's a lot of chance where, and one of his biggest weaknesses, which I'll get into later, is that he can die before ulting. So having a health maxed out can be very beneficial to make sure that he doesn't die and that he can ult and then start getting his health back. But I did pick physical attack just because I want his damage output to be as much as possible. So you can see here both the Spring skin and the Champion skin increase that. Then if I didn't go physical attack, I would go health. So I'll put that as number 3 as most important. And then from there, I would go with crit hit chance, and then finally with agility. Now, actually the same is going to be playing out for the glyphs. He has those exact same glyphs where armor penetration number 1, then I went physical attack, health, crit chance, and then agility. I think that's the best way to build him out because all of these stats actually are super useful to him. It's not like where he has like a magic defense or an armor, which are nice. They're not bad. It just doesn't increase the damage. Every single one of these, besides health, which just keeps him alive, increases damage, which makes him a pretty potent hero. Now, He is a warrior. His main hero stat is going to be agility. You can kind of get a look of some of his raw stats. I don't have him fully maxed out due to the tree of wisdom not maxed out there, but everything else is maxed out. It should be important to note, too, that there are 3 different pets that Ishmael can utilize. Those are going to be Oliver, which is going to help him stay alive longer and get back health. That's going to be Mara, which will allow this stun that you see right here in the Storm Blades to go for a little bit longer. I think if you have Mara maxed out, this stun could actually be like 2 seconds, which can be a game changer. Or you have Fenris, which will increase his armor penetration and his physical attack, and will potentially blind opponents if they don't have anything to stop it. That's my favorite right now, depending on the battle, just because the armor penetration and the physical attack just makes him stronger, and that's what I'm trying to do, though there's no wrong pet to put on him. Now, in terms of items, how are you going to be upgrading him? There's 2 big items that you want to be thinking about. Number 1, the things that are going to be hardest to get are the throwing knives, because since he is an agility hero, there's a lot of Creator's Feathering and Song of the Valkyries that require just a ton of these throwing knives. And the other is going to be these Lycanthrope Fangs. Lycanthrope Fangs are going to be throughout. You can see, let's see, starting on Orange +3, he's going to have an Alucard that requires 2. Then a Ruler's Globus that requires 2 Alucards, so that's 4 more there. Then he'll have a Unity of Extremes, which will require 6 of that. And that might be it. But it's still going to be a lot of Lycanthrope's Fangs. So if you are focused on building him up, you want to be trying to get Lycanthrope's Fangs, and you want to be trying to get the throwing knives. Now for glyphs, I already talked about the order. I would say armor penetration, physical attack, health, crit chance, agility. That's how I would level him up. We don't need to talk about Gift of the Elements besides knowing that it increases his agility, which, if you don't know, agility for a agility hero will increase the physical attack by 3 points and give them an extra point of armor. So it does help him stay alive a little bit more, though he is a dodge hero, so armor is not as important. But the physical attack will always be helpful. Then from there, we go into his artifacts. So his best artifacts is the middle one, the Alchemist Folio. The physical attack and armor penetration. As I talked about, armor penetration is one of the best stats you can possibly have. That's absolutely number 1. From there, I would go with actually the Ring of Agility first, and there is a specific reason. So the Ring of Agility will give, obviously, agility, and physical attack and armor. And the reason I say the top one, which is the Hidden Demon's Katars, is the least valuable, is because you're actually not going to see Ishmael ult a lot. Usually he ults, and he's just going to stay ulting. But it's a one-time effect of the crit hit chance for 9 seconds. Then after that, he can still be ulting and like using his energy, but it's not going to quote-unquote ult again to give you the crit chance again. So in that case, that's why it's best to do the Alchemist Folio, then the Ring, then the weapons. Now his Ascension, as I talked about, we have the Elusive Phantom, Brutal Awakening. I highly recommend you trying to get these if you're trying to level up Ishmael, because these are going to be key abilities for him to really unlock his potential. Now, let's go ahead and talk about some battles. And I want to show you like the actual abilities while they're actually happening. So we're gonna go into this battle and share this. Actually, no, not share this. We're gonna watch this battle replay, and we'll put it in 0.25 seconds in just a second. So you can see here he just critted, and with a crit you can see like the big damage instead of the small damage. And as soon as he gets close, so we'll start to slow it down here. Now he ults. So now you can see that his energy is slowly starting to drain, but as soon as he hits, he's going to have some vampirism effects, where he's going to be gaining energy back. Now these are the exact same teams, except for Ishmael and Lyria is on one side, Ishmael's on the other. And you can see here, he's using another one of his abilities to attack. I think that was supposed to be the stun, but because they have Sebastian, that stun doesn't happen. but his attack speed is increasing. And one of the also important things about Ishmael is you do want to surround him with heroes that buff him, such as Sebastian, which increases his critical hit chance, which is very important. Sebastian's probably the best hero for him to buff him. And then Nebula can increase his damage there too. So, okay, let's go speed it up a little bit. But you can see here that now that one's taken down, he's going to have very little problems. Well, actually more than one are taken down. But his energy just increasing based off of the attacks, based off of dodging. And now if you were to fight this team, it would be significantly harder because Ishmael has more energy and will be able to ult very quickly at the beginning of the battle. So again, a great hero for AOC, Area of Conquest, to continually just beat teams, team after team. So let's talk about his strengths. So his strengths really only start to happen once he ults. Once he ults, he becomes very hard to kill because he's dodging physical attacks, he can dodge magic attacks, and he's gaining health by vampirism, plus any other additional healing that could be happening to him. And his attacks are going to be critting with a times 4% crit if you have the Ascension material. Another thing that he can just deal a ton of damage with his crits because it is the times 4. So that's why Sebastian is so good to also increase the crit hit chance so that whenever those crits do happen, they happen more often and it just is going to potentially bring a hero from complete full health to like one hit them and bring them down to 0. Now, some of the weaknesses that he faces. Number one, if he's facing a fast magic team, so I'm talking like an Orion Augustus team, and they're able to bring him down before he actually is able to ult, then that is something that is going to hurt him. And obviously kill him. And that's not something he can counter very well because he has to get through the front line. There's no way of him attacking a back line and those heroes that could kill him quick. So he has to get through the front line. So if you have a fast magic damage, that can be a good counter team to him. And then also dodge heroes can be good against him. So I'm talking like the Auroras of the world, the Heidi's, the ones that can make sure that he doesn't hit them. And in that case, then if they keep on dodging with the amount of damage that he could have given, they'll be able to spam their ult, which will also help them keep on dodging. And then Ishmael can have a hard time with that. Now, there are a few counters to Ishmael besides the ones that I just mentioned. First off is Astoroth, or basically any other very high armor tank. That is death to Ishmael, especially ones that whenever they ult, they do an armor artifact, because Ishmael is focused on bringing down his opponents quick with crit hits and armor penetration. But if you have enough armor, his attacks get weaker and weaker and weaker, and you can start to survive them. So if you run into an Astoroth team, unless he starts to ult very quickly before Astoroth can get up and running, he can run kind of into a brick wall. Next hero that's also very good against Ishmael is Alvanor. So Alvanor's ability is he is able to stop basically any under the Force Canopy, absorbs 100% of the damage dealt by basic attacks. Now, unfortunately, because of his ultimate, the way it's set up for Ishmael, his ultimate is considered a normal attack because he's just doing his normal attacks just with greater attack speed and greater critical hit chance. So because of that, if Alvanor is able to ult, then Ishmael is not going to be doing any damage to him. So great counter to Ishmael if that Alvanor is able to get up and running. Then Folio is also another good counter, and the reason he's a good counter is not necessarily because he is like strong in armor or anything like that, but he does have this superior copying where he can copy different things to throw them out in front, where Ishmael has to kind of get through those before attacking the team, and that can waste enough time to really target him a little bit more and take him down. And then, as I mentioned, Aurora, or basically any dodge hero, can be effective, but especially Aurora, because Aurora is standing at the front of the line, and if she's able to ult, she'll probably be able to keep on ulting, stopping Ishmael from hitting her. Now, who is he good against? So, Ishmael does have a lot of strengths. He's good against any lower armor or lower health tanks, because he can get through them pretty quickly once he starts ulting. He's also good against people like Isaac, since he doesn't do any magic damage. So any Isaac teams that you have, Ishmael is not going to force Isaac to ult, so he is just going to be cutting through those pretty quick. And he's good against Lyria, which, since Lyria has become more and more of the meta, Ishmael is going to be rising up in the ranks. Because now, Ishmael, and you can see it in the fight that I had just showed, Ishmael was able to get through the exact opposite team, just with like a Lyria team that had also Nebula, Sebastian, and Chorus and Aiden. So he can be very good there too. So he's been one of my best ways to counter Lyria teams that I've seen. So overall, after all of putting that into effect, the overall grade that I would give Ishmael right now is an A-. He's very strong. He is a great hero. I think he's becoming more into prominence lately. I think there are specific modes that he excels in, specifically some PvP if you're trying to continue on with the same team, like the AOC. He's my favorite hero to use in there. He does have some weaknesses, but so does every hero. There's not any one hero without any weaknesses. But I would put him into the A category, probably bottom of the A category. You're not going to use him in every situation, but you will use him in a lot of situations, so just a great hero to develop. Thanks so much for watching. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll talk again soon.